Oh, Madison Square Garden is electrified as they get ready for Davey Moore. You see the numbers on him against Roberto Duran. Moore with a slight reach advantage. The poundage exactly the same at 152.5. Good look at the man that's trying to win the junior middleweight championship away from Davey Moore. That, of course, would be Roberto Duran. And there's a great look at the Bronx Bomber, if you will. That, of course, will be Davey Moore.
As you look around Madison Square Garden, people outside trying to get into this arena couldn't do it. And this is the hottest ticket in town, that's for sure.
After a great finish by Duran over Cuevas, as you take a look at Duran, who won that fight in the 4th round knockout, do you anticipate that Duran will try to come in smoking here early on Davey Moore? Can he afford to, Al Bernstein?
Well, Davey Moore has good power. He is really a powerful puncher. The criticism of Moore has been that he maybe takes a few too many punches, but I don't know that Duran can afford to just wade right in.
Madison Square Garden, where they had more people standing in the aisles and sitting down here tonight, trying to get everybody to their seats as Davey Moore battles Roberto Duran.
Moore has a good jab, an excellent straight right hand. He used that against such people as Ayub Kalule in one of his title defenses and Gary Guyton. And so he's got excellent power, but can he hit Duran? Duran's such a fine defensive fighter.
It will be interesting in the fact that when both these fighters came into the ring, certainly Davey Moore from the Bronx getting his share of applaudance, but Roberto Duran a big favorite here in Madison Square Garden.
Well, you wonder what that does psychologically. Davey Moore grew up in the Bronx. This is his hometown, and yet Roberto Duran comes in, and he is certainly the crowd favorite.
Pretty much a slow first round, as might have been expected here, with both fighters respecting the other. Both fighters, as you see, somewhat similar in their styles, even though Moore may hold his hands just a bit higher, right up under the chin, where Duran is about chest high. Good left hand that time, but Duran slipped in on Moore. The champion retaliates with a left right, comes back with another left right to Duran.
Now there's the right of Davey Moore. That's the punch he wants to get home. He feels he can hurt Duran with that right hand.
Slight reach advantage, Al Bernstein. A good flipping left jab by Davey Moore will be important here tonight, won't it?
It will if he can land it. So hard to land that against Duran.
Good uppercut by Moore. You saw Duran's head go flying back. He gets a little angered and comes strongly in on the champion.
This is an active first round, perhaps more active than some people anticipated.
First minute and a half was a waltz, and now it's suddenly turned into an up-tempo tango, to speak. Both fighters have demonstrated their best weapons with under 30 seconds to go in round one. Madison Square Garden will not be a quiet one tonight with this one. The champion, Davey Moore, his back to you. The challenger, Roberto Duran. Duran with a sharp left hand. We have the end of round one. Round two comes your way after this. Round one, a very active first round after it started slowly. It picked up in intensity, and now round two, anticipated by this capacity crowd at Madison Square Garden in New York, to be more of the same. Al Bernstein, how about the first round? Anything surprising from either fighter?
Well, Duran was getting his jab in fairly well and continues to here in round two. They were exchanging a lot in that first round, and Duran did take some good shots from Davey Moore and was able to sustain under them.
Both of them walked into straight left hands for each other. There the left hand, the flipping jab of Duran came with a lead right that time. It slipped in on a chin. Duran trying to load up with the right hand. Moore slipped the right as Duran pulled the string on it.
Duran trying to use his experience over 70 pro fights. Davey Moore, though, a champion, less than 15 pro fights. And you can see that he is in there against a man in Roberto Duran who knows all the tricks. Good right by Duran.
By both. Duran sends Moore back to the ropes, tries to go after him. Now he does as he forces him against the ropes once again.
He is ripping body shots to the side of Davey Moore, much to the delight of this crowd.
Round 2. Punching back act for Davey Moore, the champion. Roberto Duran waiting in. Both the left and the right have scored here in round 2. There you see the left.
Good
Moore
left.
Fighting back with a good left right of his own.
Excellent. This is the kind of wars Moore has been in his championship matches, but he is really taking shots from Duran.
That inexperience starting to show as Duran spun him into the ropes and went after him quickly.
A lot of low blows from Roberto Duran. Not a warning yet from the referee on that.
There you see that body punching coming upstairs to the right by Duran. You can hear this crowd. It's very much pro Duran here in second round. Davey Moore, the junior middleweight champion, undefeated, but he's in there with a tiger now.
The body work of Duran is just tremendous in this second round.
Under 20 seconds of round 2.
You know, Moore is landing that uppercut well, but it's just not having an impact on Duran.
Moore almost walked into another right hand. Duran hesitated for a moment, or Moore could have been out. He does not, and we close in on the final moments of round 2. This slugfest from Madison Square Garden continues in a moment. Good look in the corner of Davey Moore as he comes out getting his instructions. At the end of round 2, Al Bernstein, it was tough for Ernesto Morgana, the referee, to get Roberto Duran back into his corner.
A lot of macho taunting going on by Duran, and he's trying to play some mind games with Davey Moore. Good right. There is swelling around the right eye of Davey Moore, and that may have come from a thumb. It looked like Duran may have snuck a thumb in there in either the first or second round, and that swelling does not bode well for Davey Moore.
You saw him working on that in the corner as we came out to answer the bell here in round 3.
You know, Moore hit Duran with some tremendous shots toward the end of round 2, and it just didn't seem to faze Duran. Of course, he has a tremendous chin.
Davey Moore trying to come at Duran, who's now back on his heels and throwing punches at will. Let me tell you, that right eye is becoming more of a problem here for Davey Moore. It's starting to close even more here in round 3.
I think there's blood from around the left eye as well. And Duran is ripping those left hooks to the body. Moore is fighting him on the inside, not necessarily where I think Davey Moore wants to be, even though Davey is counterpunching fairly well. I think Moore needs this fight at long range.
Davey Moore, who had been known to bounce around the ring, has very little spring at the moment, as Roberto Duran has come at him from almost all angles. And round 2, Moore almost resembled a punching bag, and here in round 3, Duran continues to score. Moore trying to counter.
And there's the hand speed of Davey Moore in the combination punching, but hard to hit Duran. And Roberto goes back to the body.
There you saw that experience. Davey Moore covered up well at the top. Duran said okay, went down to the body and got a couple of good shots in there.
Good right by Moore. It's not that Davey Moore is not landing good shots, but Duran covering up a little more effectively and landing, I think, bigger punches to the body and the head.
Al, you can see a lot of fights, but quite obviously you don't hear the crowd getting into one as well as they have here through the first 3 rounds tonight.
Classic example there of Moore throwing a right and landing it, but Duran turning away just at the right instant to absorb some of the shock of that punch.
20 seconds to go in round 3. Other than the first minute and a half of this fight, which was rather lackluster, it has been non-stop action. You see some blood on Duran, which has come from the eye now of Davey Moore. And that left eye indeed is starting to bleed. They'll have to work on it on the corner at the end of round 3.